Well, hello there. Welcome to your Almost Daily Dave, the program that I do sometimes in the middle of the week, sometimes not even announced. In this case, I have to talk about the World Series, and I have to bring you a tiny bit of bad news from the world of college football that just broke about 20 minutes ago. I'll start with that, and then we'll work our way to the World Series because a lot of verbs, nouns, and adverbs and adjectives, but I guarantee you not enough adverbs, have been used to describe what happened last night. But what just happened about I'd say no more than 20 minutes ago. I was literally buying dog food when it came across my phone that there's not going to be a Wisconsin-Nebraska game this week. You already heard that Wisconsin starting quarterback tested positive for COVID-19. And that means a 21-day benching by the rules of the Big Ten set up during the pandemic. When, remember, the Big Ten was the first one to pull out, then they got themselves back in. Well, now, because of the outbreak in the state of Wisconsin in general, they have just been getting hammered lately, unfortunately. There's no game. Now, under the Big Ten protocols, this means no contest. That means no reschedule. No, we're not going to play it December 12th like they did with Florida LSU. They're just not going to play it. So that's the first. Will there be others? Wisconsin had a shot, and they always do have a shot in the Big Ten, right? So now that's one down, one game. It may not have any effect on the Big Ten season at all. I hope it doesn't. I hope there are no more. I think we all can agree on that. But that is a significant piece of news out of the Big Ten. They're 1 week in, and they had to cancel the game. So now on to the World Series, Game 6. Blake Snell, rolling along. You know where I'm going with this. First off, I am kind of happy the Dodgers won, if only to, and I discussed this on Monday, get rid of that whole Clayton Kershaw can't win thing. That's dead now. He went 2-0. His whip was under 1. He pitched well. He became the all-time postseason strikeout leader. He did a great job. He did what he was required to do, and his teammates took it in from there. So it's the first one in 1988. And so the city of Los Angeles gets the Lakers winning in October and the Dodgers winning in October. And I'm amazed they finished this Major League Baseball season. Do I consider it a freak season or a season that should be ignored? Absolutely not. Winning in these conditions sometimes is more difficult than doing the whole 162 thing. I really believe that. So congrats to the Dodgers. In the meantime, two topics have come out. One I'm going to go through, which is why I call this Analyze This, was the analytics that were used. There are people in sports, basketball, the NBA is big into this, college basketball is big into this, football is big into this, analytics, telling the coach what decisions to make, taking the gut out of it, taking the heart out of it, and just saying, when it's this and this, you do this no matter what. I talked to a football coach in the MAC. Actually, I can tell you who it is. It's Tim Lester at Western Michigan, who has an analytics book like this, and he actually has somebody carrying it with him during the game. And Tim Lester, as only maybe 1 or 2 times a year, goes against that book. So if a certain situation develops in a quarter and he looks at the book or he remembers, he'll do what that book tells him to do. He is married to that. Other football coaches are somewhat similar, maybe not quite, but very similar. In baseball, analytics dictated that Snell be taken out of the game, despite the fact that he'd struck out 9, only given up 2 hits, because in the Rays mentality, you don't want a guy going through a third time through the order. And yes, that does happen. Yes, teams do beat up on a pitcher on the third time around, except that nobody had done anything to Snell. They had hardly dented him. It wasn't like they were hitting balls to the warning track and guys are making diving catches in the gap. They were barely making good contact. You know, Snell doesn't want to come out. There's a great picture I saw today of the look on his face when he knows what's about to happen. He doesn't even get to go 6 full innings. And I know the old school argument. We just lost Tom Seaver and Bob Gibson this year, 2 guys who weren't going to come out. And not only that, their managers weren't coming to take them out. But Kevin Cash played it by the book, literally. And it didn't go well. The funny thing is he brought in their best relief pitcher. However, that best relief pitcher was not pitching well in the postseason. Not in this series. His ERA was about 6.5. He'd given up a run in each of his last 6 performances. So there was some, so what's the book on that? So you're going to have a great debate, and it'll be hopefully a fun debate about analytics versus old school baseball. Old school baseball would tell you that guy stays in until his elbow begins to leak. New school baseball is we're going to start a relief pitcher, and then bring in 6 more relief pitchers because this works. Or no matter what, we're either going to hit a pitch count and pull a guy, or no matter what, we're going to pull a guy even if he's rolling along because statistics show that a third time around and you had good Dodgers hitters coming up. Well, good Dodgers hitters do what good hitters do, and they end up putting LA in front into a lead they did not relinquish en route to their first World Series, since I couldn't believe this, the Kirk Gibson home run series against the Oakland A's. It's a strange decision. I understand the analytics people. I understand analytics is one of the big reasons why we're seeing 3-pointers chucked left and right in basketball now. It's analytics are telling you to do it. So I scratch my head on this because, look, I used to play Stratomatic baseball, a stat game based on dice, or we would do it on computers. I played it for nearly 20 years. And you were always making decisions by statistics. Your gut didn't tell you because you were playing with dice. Dice have no heart and soul. They have no gut. It's dice. So you're playing percentages. And that's what these guys are doing here in real life baseball. It just didn't work. And that leaves you open to massive amounts of second guessing. There's another massive amount of second guessing going on. Since I started with a COVID story, I might as well finish with one. You probably have heard now about Justin Turner, the Dodgers' outstanding infielder, hell of a hitter, big red beard, that guy, yeah. Middle of the game, they come back with news that he tested positive on Tuesday for the virus. He had a negative on Monday, but his Tuesday test came back positive. You're out of there. And it was finally explained on the broadcast. But then when the Dodgers win, guess who's celebrating with them? Captain Positive himself. Now he's wearing a mask. And there's a moment, though, where he's taking a picture with the trophy where he lowers the mask. I know. I might have done the same thing for like a quick, hurry up and take it before anybody sees me shot. The problem is at that point in the celebration, there's a million photographers out there. But what is the old line? What did they know? When did they know? And how did they know it? What did they know? Did he really test positive? Did they just find out during the game? Really? You can conspiracy theory yourself into a coma for that. The point is the guy tested positive and he shouldn't have been there at all, celebration or not. Now his teammates are backing him. I fully expect that. But that's a contentious issue. Now the good news is baseball is one sport that probably has the most time, and maybe the NFL, maybe NFL and college football too, to wait to see how this whole thing plays itself out. And perhaps we'll be able to get vaccinated and all these other things by the time the next baseball season rolls around and the next football seasons roll around, and we won't have to worry about this. But in the meantime, it's a worry. Now I'm going to be really curious to see what the COVID-19 tests come out of that Dodgers locker room following their World Series. And unfortunately, all of this has kind of hijacked the narrative of the team actually winning the World Series. They got help from a probable manager goof. They had a weird thing happen to one of their star players with the test positive. I'm tired of hearing it's 2020 or boy, that's so 2020 or wow, that's a typical 2020. But you know what? It was all of it. That's it for the Almost Daily, Dave. Back at you Friday with a nooner. Talk to you then. Oh, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. I'm everywhere and nowhere at all at the same time.